Hi, and welcome to Ask the Trainer. This is Roberta, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about bringing a brand new dog into your house and what you might want to think about beforehand and how you may want to get them settled in. So I would start with, are you getting a puppy or an adult dog or a senior dog? So puppies are going to need a lot more, confinement to start with and supervision, and they're going to have a lot more energy and want to get into stuff. So they're going to need quite a bit of your time to start with. And the adult dogs may be a little more, depending on the adult dog, maybe they are super energetic and need a lot of stuff. So before you adopt the dog, I would definitely talk with the breeder or the adoption counselors here if you're adopting, get an idea if this dog's energy and personality is really going to fit in with your lifestyle. That way you can make sure you're happy and the dog's happy, because no one's going to be happy if it's a mismatched situation. So let's think of some physical equipment that you might want to purchase, such as their food. What kind of food are they going to want? How much are they going to eat? So if it's a really big dog, it's going to eat a lot more than a little toy dog. Do you have somewhere you're going to bring them to go to the bathroom regularly? They're going to want to go, puppies a lot more often. Bigger dogs maybe just a few times a day. Have that already thought out, what you're going to do for that, as well as, what are you going to do for a daily exercise routine? Because dogs are going to need some stimulation throughout the day and some exercise. Otherwise, they're going to get bored, and that can lead to trouble. Think about where you can put them to be confined. If you need to use a crate or another room or somewhere where they can have a safe spot for, you can put them if maybe they don't enjoy company or you need a break. You're going to want to have the proper leash and collar equipment for your dog and some ID tags. So if they do get away from you, someone can see that phone number right away and call you. And then what are they going to need for toys? You may need, a lot of more chewy kind of stuff for little dogs that are puppies. Maybe the older dog isn't so into toys, or, figure out what you are going to need and get a whole start out with that. I would start out too, when you bring your dog, whether a puppy or adult, to have 100% supervision, because you're not, you're meeting each other for the first time, and you want to make sure everything goes well. You don't want them to accidentally, mess up and do something that, you didn't want, but just because you weren't keeping an eye on them. So, maybe even put the dog on a leash, walk him into the house, maybe go from room to room, introduce him to rooms that he will especially be hanging out in. Maybe, some rooms you want to be more off limit. Maybe your kids have lots of toys everywhere and you don't want your dog to get into there. And make sure you sit and settle with him, show him all his toys in the rooms that he's going to be in, especially if there's going to be a confinement area, get him introduced to that. And then also kind of keep them a little limited access. So I wouldn't give your dog a puppy, I tend to be a little bit more conservative, and keep them where I can keep an eye on them before I give them the whole house. That sometimes is just too much for them to deal with, and they go and maybe they find a nice place to go to the bathroom. So I like to kind of keep them close by for now until we work up that relationship. Also, I would supervise them around any children or other pets or anything like that, because you don't know them quite yet fully, and they don't know you, and you want to make sure everything goes well and we don't have anything unexpected happen. So supervise the dogs always around kids and other animals. Think about what you want to do for bedtime. So maybe you don't want your dog to sleep in bed with you. Well, where else are you going to have, what's the alternative? Is they going to have their own confinement area again, maybe a separate room with some beds and blankets? Think about what you're going to do for that, how you're going to introduce them to that. And I would start off with that plan right away. So you can also, I would think about some mental stimulation that might help them as well as the physical. So food puzzles and like Kongs or or anything like that to get their brain thinking and working. That can be fun. One important thing we definitely tell people when they adopt here from AWS is to try to not overwhelm your dog at first, because I know it's exciting. You have this great dog, you want to show it off to all your family and friends and neighbors and introduce them to everyone, but give it some time. Give it, let them settle in, start to bond with you, and then you can slowly kind of introduce him to more people and dogs. But it's really important we don't overwhelm them too much, because they came from, if it's a rescue dog, they probably traveled from a previous home or, even a different state, and then they've been in the shelter, and now they're going home with you, so it's very stressful. They may need a lot of rest at first. Maybe they haven't been sleeping a lot because they have been stressed in a shelter, and they need to kind of just decompress. Don't force any issues, so I wouldn't get into, be too strict right away if your dog get some messy feet on the carpet or something. You just take it easy. You don't have to get all the rules in at once, because you're all still trying to settle in and make things, see what the rules are. Give them a lot of space when they're eating or they're chewing something really delicious, because, again, for all dogs should be able to have their own space and feel safe with some food and not feel like you're going to, worried that someone's going to come take it away. Especially in the beginning, you want to earn that trust. I'd hold off on the hugs right now, because it's intimidating for any dog, really, to be hugged by a person. It's really not something they naturally enjoy. And especially as you're both getting to know each other, I would give them a little space and just kind of see what each other likes, what they like for petting. Maybe they rather just have some light petting. Maybe they actually just rather be in the room with you and not really cuddle or anything like that. Until you figure it out, I would just hold off. And make sure your whole family is on the same page. So it's going to help everybody, and things are going to go smoother, quicker, if everyone is on the same page about exercise and routine and what the rules are of the house. And it's just going to, obviously, if everyone's doing the same thing, the dog is going to be a lot less confused. So if you are getting a new dog soon or just got one, congratulations. And